Let's talk about disaster recovery. Hi everyone, this is Brian from the Ensemble Edge Cloud team. Today we're going to show how we can quickly restore service if we have to replace the hardware. Let's go. Let's talk about two recovery scenarios. The first scenario assumes we want to replace the server and restore the day one service that was originally applied during the zero-touch service activation. The second scenario builds on the first and additionally handles restoring changes to that vRouter that were made after the day one installation. Let's recover to day one first. Here we have a Cloudlet instance that has gone through zero touch and it's operational. To simulate a failure, we log into Cloudlet's console and restore it to its factory default state. That knocks down the management tunnel, and after a few seconds, when we refresh the screen, EdgeView reports that instance is down. This is what it looks like if a server dies. Our on-site technician confirms that we're going to replace the server. So we select the pull down for that Cloudlet instance and issue a factory reset. We want to reuse the UID, so we keep that and all of the day one settings the same. EdgeView asks us to confirm a couple of times that we want to do this, which we do. And when we refresh, we see that this Cloudlet instance has gone back to a pre-deployment state. We know that because the ZTP and the operational icons are grayed out. So now when the on-site tech powers up the new server, they'll enter in the UID and the new server will be running the same service as the old server. Day end recovery. Occasionally after ZTP, we may need to make a tweak to the vRouter config just for that site. When we do, we need to archive the new config so we can restore it in case of a hardware failure. To demonstrate this, we get into the vRouter and we're going to make a change. So from Ensemble EdgeView, we SSH to the Cloudlet OS. And from the Cloudlet OS, we open a console into the vRouter CLI and log in. Once we're in the vRouter CLI, we edit the running config. And let's do a show config to see what was provided during the zero-touch service activation. The configuration we see is that hybrid WAN configuration from our eval setups. So let's imagine that the customer requested we change the DHCP subnet we operate on the LAN network. Currently it goes up to 254 and maybe they want it to be something smaller. So first we delete that subnet range. And now we want to add a new subnet. And let's change the endpoint from 254 to 77. Here's a handy tip. We can diff the running config to the staged config as a check. This confirms we removed the old range and added the new. Everything looks correct, so we commit and copy running to startup so the change will persist after reboot. Whenever we make a day-end change, we want to back it up in the EdgeView Cloud so we can apply it in case of a disaster recovery. So in EdgeView, we now go to the Jobs menu. We see there are job definitions and job instances. The definitions describe the type of action we're taking. The instance describes the endpoints we're running it on. It's easy to create various job definitions, but as you can see, our eval account comes pre-populated with backup and restore jobs, so we already have what we need. But we need to create an instance. Let's call this backup customer A, and then we select all the endpoints we want to run this job on. This is really powerful because it allows you to use different filter criteria to select a large number of endpoints. In our case, we're just selecting one. Now we have our job instance created, and we go ahead and run it. Now, if we go back to the inventory view and click on the host name, we can see a vRouter backup was taken and it's time-stamped with when we took it. And when we look at the config, that backup has the day and change that we made. Now we'll simulate a server failure again, like we did before, just a little faster. We replace the server, we ZTP the new server, and after a few minutes we see the new server is operational. Let's do a quick check of the vRouter config. And we see the subnet ends in 254, which is what the day one config sets up. But we check our vRouter backups, we find one, so now we want to restore that backup. To do that, we define an instance under our jobs. And we'll call this restore customer A. We select the host name of the server we've replaced, and we run the restore instance. Now when we go back to the vRouter CLI and look at the subnet, we see that the subnet ends in 77, reflecting the day and change that was made and was backed up. Now we see that in a disaster recovery scenario, we can replay the day one config, and if changes were made at a site and they were backed up, we can quickly restore those changes as well. So give it a try. Please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to know when new videos drop, and thanks for watching.